everyone, Mitchell Saltzman here alongside Will Borger, and we're here at EVO 2025. We just got to play Invincible Versus. Now, Will, this is a game that you got to preview a couple months ago or so,
yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
What's kind of your takeaway playing it at EVO Versus when you played it last time for preview?
Well, there were two new characters here. We had Splode and we had Battle Beast, and so getting to play with more than 4 members of the cast in a 3v3 game is a huge difference. But I think what stuck out to me the most was that my initial impressions were that this is a tag fighter. It has a lot of systems. It feels good to play. It's very fast. Like, all that stuff is still true. There's just a little bit more of it now, and now we can get a feel for what team compositions might be, you know, with more characters.
Yeah.
What did you think, Mitch? What stood out to you?
So I think what really stood out to me was the movement of this game. If you're playing as one of those characters that can fly, like Invincible, like Adam Eve, they move, man. You got dash cancel, so you can really quickly move across the field. You can, like, jump up, dash down. There's just a lot of really cool movement options in terms of either, kind of faking your opponent out, trying to get them to whiff, or just closing the distance really, really quickly. It feels a lot like Marvel vs. Capcom in that kind of way. But, of course, this is from a lot of the people who worked on Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
So there's a really big aspect of, breaking combos, knowing that your opponent is going to try to break your combos, so you can do a counter to that. It's just there's a lot of defensive mechanics. What do you think about some of those defensive mechanics?
I think it's really interesting because we're in an era where fighting games are really offensive focused. And so to see a game that has this many defensive mechanics, but also encourages counterplay, is really exciting. The one you mentioned was the combo breaks, but I love that what you can do is if you think your opponent's gonna do that, you can actually plan for it and bait them into doing it, and then punish them for doing it.
Blow them up.
Yeah, they just get absolutely destroyed. And the same thing with the way push block works, give you a chance to kind of get off me, right? Like, there's all these systems to make it so that offense and defense are kind of on an equal playing field, and it becomes about the mind game of, can I bait you into doing the thing I want you to do? Can I stop you from doing this? And I think that's really fascinating and something that you need in a tag fighter.
Yeah, I think what was really interesting is that there are a lot of mechanics in this game. There's a lot of ways to, if you can get the right read on your opponent, you can punish them so heavily. Like, they were demonstrating to us, like, what happens if your opponent is locked out of their assist and you have full resources. You can just go to town and just delete your enemy's HP. And I think that's really cool because it's still interacting with the game, even if you're getting hit. You just have to still be careful about it.
Yes.
Which I think is really, really cool. It's not like, and don't kill me for this, Marvel vs. Capcom fans. It's not about that whole thing of, like, you get hit once and then you put the controller down and just kind of wait until your life ends. That's never been my style of a fighting game, but so I enjoy that they still have those really long touch of death kind of combos, but it is this, guessing game that you're in even while you're in a combo.
Yeah, and I feel like that's such a crucial thing as part of a tag fighter too, right? This idea of, like, a single mistake can cost you this character if the other guy has the resources and has the knowledge and has the combo and has the setup. And I think, like, most single player games, we would say that that's crazy, something like that should never happen. But in a tag fighter, you're allowed to play a little bit more fast and loose with that kind of stuff. And I think it really encourages the spirit of games like Marvel vs. Capcom or games like Dragon Ball FighterZ, where there was so much that you could do depending on what you had available as resources and what your opponent did if they messed up. You could just take a character away from them. And to see that still in a tag fighter is something that makes me really happy.
All right, well, that is Invincible Versus. We got tons more coverage of EVO 2025 coming up, so stick with IGN.
Here's a taste of reality. The strong survive.